Hey there Canonites, welcome back. As part of the release of MCC on PC, 343 has been putting out a series of videos collectively titled The ONI Archives. A series of in-universe videos, each one serves as something of a primer for one of the games. While I always intended to talk about these at some point, it wasn't until this week that I felt any kind of urgency to analyze their content. For the most part, these videos, while certainly welcome and well produced, were mainly fun extras with cool Easter eggs or new albeit minor details. However, the ONI Archives video for Halo 2 has potentially changed things and may be the start of something very interesting. So today we'll dive into these files, break down the lore and Easter eggs, and watch as a new mystery unfolds. These are the ONI Archives, and they may be the start of something greater. The first video in the series is titled Noble Endeavors, and briefly touches on the history of Noble Team, notably their action over Fumarole. This was depicted in the Halo Reach trailer Deliver Hope, telling the story of the death of the previous Noble 6, Tom A293, and how Cat B320 lost her arm. Interestingly, this part reveals the name of the CCS-class battlecruiser that Tom destroys, Sanctity of Purification. The video does go on to talk about Noble Team's action on Reach and the addition of the new Noble 6, but this is the less interesting part. The first thing that stands out is the narration of this and future videos, seeing the return of what should be a familiar voice for longtime watchers of Halo Waypoint content.
Pursuant to ONI Section 2's public awareness campaign regarding the UNSC's role in colonial security.
Though the actor has never been publicly identified, this man's voice can be found in numerous videos from the early days of Halo Waypoint, narrating recaps of games, battles, and voicing lore-targeted primers for Halo Reach, among other things. For me personally, it has been great to hear this magnificent voice return, especially now with some in-universe framing. On that note, Noble Endeavors opens with this unknown man, a comms officer with ONI Section 2, the propaganda arm of ONI among other things, telling us that these archive videos are part of a public awareness campaign by Section 2, created under the orders of someone named Director Schaefer. That's a new name if you're wondering. This video series is aimed at, quote,
educating UEG citizens on the history, evolution, and application of the Spartan program.
We then get some more candid dialogue from the comms officer. He talks about the Covenant War being just the start of humanity's encounters with alien life, which immediately brings into question when these files are being made. We'll talk more about that as we go through the other videos, but what's important to note here for now is that we're clearly in the post-war era, and these videos seem to have a secondary goal of inspiring the new generation of Spartans.
With any luck, the next generation of heroes will be inspired by those who have tread this path before.
Closing up this video, let's take a look at a few Easter eggs, the first being the in-universe file name for this video, and I hope I get this right, Shalon 2019-03012. Shalon refers to the Shalon app that connects players to Xbox Live through Steam, itself named after the Shalon people native to the state of Washington. The numbers are the date of Halo Reach's PC release, December 3rd, 2019. The second Easter egg is the brief information you can see on the screen next to Noble Team's helmets. When it comes to this, it's a bit of a blessing that I waited so long to talk about these, as it was only recently discovered that the info card has the birthplace for Spartan B312 Noble 6, Damask Jericho 7. This marks B312 as the second Spartan 3 from Jericho 7, the other being Owen B096. Incidentally, Jameson Locke is also from Jericho 7 and was actually the perfect age for the Spartan 3 recruitment program when the planet was glassed in 2535. Within the lore community, it's often been wondered why he was passed up, and there's a bit of a noted irony that he would actually eventually become a Spartan. There are any number of reasons for why Locke could have been passed up by ONI, such as not wanting to take too many kids from one planet, or Locke running away before ONI knew where he was. Most likely, I think, though, is that Locke just didn't fit the genetic profile for the Spartan 3 program. While the Spartan 3 program loosened the genetic requirements Halsey had put in place for her Spartan 2 program, there were still restrictions that could have ruled Locke out. Another fun fact is that Jericho 7 was the planet we find Master Chief and the Spartan 2s fighting on at the very start of Halo: The Fall of Reach, and which John would later watch being glassed as the UNSC retreated. Anyway, let's move on to the second archives file, Conflict Evolve, which of course covers Halo CE. The body of the video talks about the partnership of John 117 and Cortana before moving on to the pair's actions on Alpha Halo. The video then shifts to a more candid message from the unknown comms officer. Like with the Reach video, the background of the section is the new, at the time, menu for the background for MCC. However, unlike before, this section has a big transmission suspended message plastered across the screen, which likely means that the average UEG citizen isn't seeing this. Whether this is a message meant for the officer's superiors or something else, we can't say at the moment. The officer talks about the first initial public enlightenment programs, which is a clear reference to Outpost Discovery.
You better believe my colleagues and I sat back with more than a few satisfied smiles as citizens poured into the first program sites and came face to face with heroes they'd only heard of.
This actually briefly brings me back to the Reach video where, notably, the numbers for Noble Team are never used. Cat B320 is simply called Spartan Cat, not unlike how Owen B096 and Hazel A302 were called Spartan Owen and Spartan Hazel at Outpost Discovery. ONI seemingly trying to put as much distance between the Spartans and their true origins as possible. Removing their service numbers in public media potentially helps to humanize the super soldiers, if only a little. We close out this video again with a couple Easter eggs. As noted with the Noble Team menu footage, which by the way is titled Echo of Heroes, we have info screens that pass by as the cameras float by the Master Chief in his cryopod. Nothing all that new is seen: the Chief's rank, his attachment to the Autumn, the manufacturer of his cryopods, Jacobatus standard systems. The footage is titled Unseal the Hushed Casket, which is the code sent to the cryo room in Halo CE to signal the awakening of the Master Chief. The ONI Archives file name for this video is Shalon 202000303, which again is the date for Halo CE's release to MCC on PC, March 3rd, 2020 in this case. And finally, we come to the latest ONI Archives video, the reason I'm making this video, Changing Tides, made for Halo 2's addition to MCC on PC. The video opens with a wrap-up of Halo CE's events before diving into Halo 2 with the Battle of Earth, the fracturing of the Covenant, and the discovery of Delta Halo. The video then cuts to another transmission suspended screen as the comms officer receives a mysterious call. I'll play it in full here with the unknown stuff enhanced as best I can.
Yes, that's what I've been saying this whole... Is this coming from Schaefer or Sullivan? That doesn't sound right. Are we even able to leverage any sort of jurisdiction there? Because if so, that's news to me. I agree, but we've had issues in the past with mixed messaging going unchecked. You know as well as I that the last... Oh, I get it. I just think if we keep...
We're ready for you in 5.
Thank you, Monique. Look, I need to go. Session is starting back up. Just go ahead and send me what you have. We'll figure it out.
As of writing this, the community is still trying to make out what's being said, but there are some interesting things to note. The first response from the unknown voice sounds like it's talking about dealing with something towards the end. The comm officer then asks if this, whatever it is coming from Schaefer or Sullivan. Sullivan in this case refers to Commander Michael Sully Sullivan, who first appeared in Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, but more notably appears in the Hunt the Truth audio drama, where we first learned that he'd gone on to work with Section 2. The unknown voice seems to respond with, "No, this is off the," before becoming too scrambled to make out. Or perhaps it's, "No, this is coming from the highest levels of." It's hard to say. The comms officer then asks if they even have jurisdiction there, wherever there is. The unknown voice responding with, "Keep your eye on something, then we need to find something." Some have thought the word base is said at the end, but I personally don't hear it at all. There have also been mentions of trying to find or get to Halsey's base, tying in with the upcoming Shadows of Reach book, but I don't think these videos are being produced after Halo 5, or that Halsey ties into anything here, especially given the talk of jurisdiction. That word speaks to either something to do with insurrectionists or aliens. The comms officer goes on to talk about mixed messaging going unchecked. It's hard to say what this may be referring to specifically, maybe ONI propaganda during the Covenant War, but some have thought that it might be a subtle meta nod to Hunt the Truth and its relationship to Halo 5, or even how the live-action Halo 5 trailer that announced the Chief's death got the date wrong.
That on October 27th, 2560.
2560.
Spartan 117, the man most commonly known as the Master Chief, died in the line of duty.
And 343 had to issue a correction on the Hunt the Truth blog. The response from the unknown voice is too garbled to clearly understand, but it almost sounds like, just get there, you know, time is of the blank. The comms officer begins to respond again, but is interrupted by comms producer Monique Angelo, informing the officer that they'll be ready for him in 5. He thanks her and tells the unknown voice just to send him what they have and they'll figure it out. The video then ends with a one-word response, but it's hard to make out. So now, if you weren't aware already, you can see why I felt an urgency to talk about this. As people have said online, it has a very Hunt the Truth vibe to it, and not just because of the Sully name drop. The immediate thought in the community has been around the possibility of these videos being the start of Halo Infinite's viral marketing. While certainly possible, I won't rule it out, it's impossible to say with any certainty. Regardless of what the actual truth is, I'm excited to see what develops in the next ONI Archives video when Halo 3 drops on MCC. What I'm really going to be interested in, though, is how these videos handle Halo 4 when we get to that, and here's why. While we currently can't say with 100% certainty when these videos are set, I think it's fairly evident that they are being recorded pre-Halo 5, pre-created takeover. The question is just how far ahead of that? One idea I had is that they could be recorded sometime mid-2557, just before the Chief returns to the fold, and that may be what the unknown voice is talking about. If that were the case, the handling of Halo 4's ONI Archive video would certainly be an interesting one. Another idea, though, is that this could be set just before Halo 5, the unknown voice talking about something relating to Infinity going to San Helios, or maybe just something going on somewhere around the time Cortana is awakening her Guardians. Having these videos showing another side to the Guardian awakening would certainly make for a potential good start for Halo Infinite marketing. Ultimately, though, we'll have to wait and see, but you can bet that going forward I'm going to be keeping a much closer eye on these videos, along with breakdowns much more quickly. Before we go, though, let's talk about the menu footage, titled Machine and Nerve, the name taken from a line from the Gravemind in Halo 2.
This one is Machine and Nerve.
Not a whole lot to break down. It's shots of warthogs presumably on board in amber clad, the info screens not having any new information. But of course, we can't forget the ONI Archives file name, Shalon 20200420. What's interesting here is that the corresponding date, April 20th, 2020, was not Halo 2's PC release date. Some have been wondering if Halo 2 might have actually been intended to be released much sooner. For now, though, this is pretty much it. I was loving these videos from the start, but this latest one has me absolutely hyped. For now, I'm keeping any further notions of connections to Infinite far away. I don't want to get needlessly excited. Still, it would be awesome if that's what's starting. Regardless, I can't wait to see where the story goes. How about you all? Are you excited? What do you think all this means? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and if you really love me, hit that notification bell and leave a thumbs up. These both really help out the channel. I wouldn't be where I am now without your views and support, so once again, thank you. Keep on being awesome, Canonites.